This work began with the realisation that Halley's Comet will return twice in my lifetime. Once at the very beginning and then again somewhere towards the very end. Halley's Comet reappears around Earth every 76 years, and looking at the illustrations and the diagrams of the trajectories of this comet brought a strange comfort to me to take that idea that we shared this lifespan and this timeline, and to see that illustrated in this circular form. It brought me a feeling of life won't just end somewhere in the distance in this unknown space, that there is a departure and there's a return, and there was something comforting about that. This work began with the video element. So the work I'm presenting here at Buxton is half a large-scale video projection, the other half are these large-scale suspended objects, and they're both exploring these ideas but from different angles. The video work I conceived as an experiment in cosmic thinking, so using these cosmic events as sort of a framework to reflect upon our own lives. So I'm basically asking the viewer to put logic aside and just sort of imagine things in a different way and from a different perspective. And then the objects are thinking about these ideas as well, but I wanted to bring them into the real world and into real time, and at a scale that is very human scale. When I first was thinking about how to create the video, I was doing a lot of collage, paper collage in the studio. So I wanted to transfer that over into a digital space, but also I was looking at a lot of GIFs, and there's this sort of repetition in those, and I wanted to grasp that sort of rhythm and utilise that rhythm of movement, because there's something very mesmerising, I think, about that. Movement is something that I use in my work a lot. Although I use a lot of material in my work, I like to say that movement is my main material. I think movement has a way of communicating to the subconscious, can say things without having to use words or articulate an idea. In a way, I'm sort of equating emotion and emotion in the work. I sort of imagined them being part cosmic egg, part diagram in space, being a drawing in space. So they're all based on hand drawings that I'd done. I think I'm trying to bring them to life and bring this idea to life as well through that movement and the structures, these cosmic structures, where you can sort of see the projection reflected, see yourself reflected in the projection, and I guess that's sort of creating all these different vantage points. Essentially, what I'm interested in is finding these similarities between cosmic forms and forces and our own experiences of those in regular life, you know. So I'm very interested in using the cosmos as a framework to sort of understand our internal and social worlds. This is the first time I've used text in a work. I always write when I'm making particularly installation work, just to sort of create my own narrative for what I'm trying to say, but I thought in this instance I really wanted to engage intellectually with the viewer and get them to sort of come on that journey with me without trying to prescribe, you know, an answer or anything, but just to sort of open up a different perspective on things. This idea of working in solitude definitely applies to my process. I'm often out and about filming at night, and I take a lot of photography and video out in the landscape, that kind of thing, just picking up little parts which I will embed into other sculptures and installations in the future. Actually, the sound element of this video, which is a distorted sound piece of crickets, which I accidentally captured when I was trying to film a lunar eclipse a few years ago. I realised that I'd captured that sound, and I thought there was something very interesting about how it reminded me that the viewer was on Earth. It created a sense of perspective, otherwise it was just the moon with no point of reference. And so I wanted to use it in this installation as a sort of grounding mechanism, otherwise you would just be floating around. A reoccurring image in the work is that of the egg, specifically the cosmic egg. It was important for me to have this egg that is the centre of this orbiting space around it, to act as this vortex, which is emblematic of the individual. The egg is repeated in this really large scale through these movements of these cosmic objects. And there's just this mimetic quality to that I find very encompassing. The tiny oscillations of this egg can hint at these larger movements outside of our grasp, So the egg is something tangible, it's something intimate, but it's representative in this case of something intangible and something unknown.